Welcome to the Foundry by Forge College. I'm absolutely pumped to have you with us today. All right, let's just dive right in. Today we're zooming in on something that's literally make or break for any Web3 developer. And that's rolling out the actual engineering blueprint for a rock-solid, reliable Ethereum development workflow. Basically, we're going to take what is usually a messy, completely unpredictable process and transform it into a streamlined, highly predictable machine. And our tool of choice? Hardhat.
So, here's a quick schematic of what we're assembling in this explainer today. We'll start off by shifting gears to Ethereum, then we'll see why Hardhat is the ultimate coordinator. After that, we'll hit the 5 steps to initialization, break down the anatomy of a starter project, tackle the big TypeScript trade-off, and finally, look at setting your actual project goals.
Okay, section 1, shifting gears to Ethereum. We're transitioning our environments, which means we have to completely shift how we think about our code.
Now, if you tuned into our previous explainer on what is C-level execution, you'll remember we talked all about Solana's parallel processing. Solana's like a multi-lane highway with absolutely no speed limit, incredibly fast, but, a little chaotic. Ethereum, on the other hand, it's a completely different beast. To survive deploying smart contracts on the Ethereum virtual machine, you need a highly predictable, sequential, step-by-step coordinated workflow. There's no throwing code at the wall to see what sticks here. You need a precise, bulletproof blueprint.
And that brings us to our next section, Hardhat, the ultimate coordinator. Let's talk about fixing some serious developer pain.
We've all been there, right? The dreaded "it works on my machine" phenomenon. You test your code manually, it works perfectly, you hand it off, and boom, it instantly breaks. It's a total nightmare. So what exactly is Hardhat and how does it fix this? Well, think of it like a general contractor for your smart contracts. It's a development environment that acts as a central coordinator. It doesn't actually do all the manual heavy lifting itself. Instead, it perfectly coordinates your compiler, your local network, and your testing framework so they all play nice together, every single time, on every single machine.
To pull this off, Hardhat stands on 4 core pillars. First up, compilation orchestration. Second, local network simulation. Third, scripting for deployments and tasks. And fourth, hooks right into your testing frameworks like Mocha and Chai. Managing these 4 specific things is exactly how Hardhat keeps your compilation outputs and deployment artifacts perfectly consistent. Whether you're hacking away on a pristine laptop at a coffee shop or running automated tests in the cloud, these pillars keep your codebase from collapsing.
Let's zoom in on that very first pillar for a second. Compilation. The name of the game here is predictability. By explicitly pinning down your Solidity compiler version and your optimizer settings inside Hardhat, you are guaranteeing reproducible bytecode. And why does that matter to us? Because those tiny compiler settings directly dictate your bytecode's gas characteristics. If you don't lock this stuff down, a simple redeploy on a slightly different compiler version could suddenly cost you way more in real gas or just behave differently entirely.
No, thank you.
Next up, we have local execution. Honestly, this is where Hardhat feels like pure magic. The Hardhat network gives you a deterministic, in-memory Ethereum node running right on your machine. But here's the best part. It lets you manipulate time. Literally. Say you're testing a 2-year token vesting schedule. You don't actually wait 2 years, obviously, and you definitely don't waste real gas. You just tell Hardhat to fast-forward the block timestamp, thoroughly test your logic, and then instantly revert the chain state. It's an absolute game changer.
All right, let's move on to section 3, 5 steps to initialization. Let's actually start building that blueprint. So, how do we begin? Initialization isn't random. It's a very deliberate 5-step assembly sequence. Step 1, decide your project goals. We'll dive deeper into that in just a bit. Step 2, scaffold your repository so your file structure actually makes sense. Step 3, lock down those core dependencies in your package manifest so your builds are always reproducible. Step 4, add in some example tests and scripts to serve as solid templates for whatever features you build next. And finally, Step 5, create a developer checklist so anyone new joining the project knows exactly what commands to run. Stick to this sequence and I promise you'll avoid the massive headaches of a messy, ad hoc coding environment.
Which leads us perfectly into section 4, anatomy of a starter project. Let's organize the workspace.
Okay, so you've scaffolded your repo. What are you actually looking at? Well, you get this beautiful, highly standardized directory structure. Your actual Solidity source code goes straight into the contracts folder. Your unit and integration tests, those live right in the test folder. And your deterministic deployment scripts are tucked away securely in the scripts folder. This setup is brilliant because it massively reduces onboarding friction. If a new developer jumps into your codebase, they don't have to guess where things are. They just immediately know.
But the real star of the show here is the hardhat.config.ts file. This right here is the absolute brain of the operation. It's your single source of truth for compiler settings, local networks, and your plugins. Because literally everything runs through this one configuration file, it is absolutely crucial that you keep it clean, minimal, and heavily commented.
Now you might have noticed that .tts extension, which brings us right into section 5, the TypeScript trade-off. We're looking at speed versus safety.
As an intermediate developer, you've got a really big choice to make about your scripting language. On one hand, you have JavaScript. It's super fast, has almost zero friction, and it's perfect if you're just hacking out a quick, somewhat reckless prototype. But on the other hand, you have TypeScript. Yes, for sure, it demands way more initial setup and config files, but it gives you strong typing and makes refactoring so much safer. Look, if your codebase is going to scale, or if you've got multiple engineers touching the code, TypeScript's going to save you from some serious long-term maintainability nightmares.
Whichever route you take, you're definitely going to want to use the standard Hardhat Toolbox plugin. It just makes life so much easier by quickly pulling in essential defaults, things like ethers for interacting with the blockchain, and testing frameworks like Mocha and Chai. As a quick aside, mastering these specific testing tools actually lines up perfectly with the deeper paths we teach in Forge College courses. They are the absolute industry standard for a very good reason.
All right, our final section, setting your project goals. This is the very last step before the actual coding begins.
Because listen, all this amazing technical setup is totally useless if it doesn't serve a clearly defined purpose. Before you write a single line of Solidity, you need to draft a one-paragraph project goal. Check out this example. Support local testing of linear vesting up to 2 years, deterministic deployments to a staging testnet, and typed deployment scripts for safer refactors. See how perfectly that works? That one sentence tells you exactly what you need to configure. Testing up to 2 years means you'll be heavily relying on the Hardhat Network's time travel magic. Typed deployment scripts means you are absolutely choosing TypeScript. Your goals dictate your entire blueprint.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I've got a little bit of concrete homework for you to tackle before you actually go install the software. First, sit down and draft your own one-paragraph project goal. Second, explicitly define which Solidity compiler version you're pinning. Third, make the final call on the whole JavaScript versus TypeScript debate for your repo. And fourth, clearly identify the primary contract behaviors that you need to test.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought. What exactly is the one-paragraph project goal for your next Ethereum smart contract? Seriously, if you can't articulate it just yet, stop and take a step back before you scaffold a single folder. Understanding your destination is literally the only way to build a right vehicle to get there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure to head over to forge.college to learn more about this, dive into tons of other Web3 topics, and really master your dev skills. Until next time, keep building.